In a flat up in Chicago with a keyboard and some tea lives a man with a funnel plan as clever as can be. He ditched his law degree for plugins that go zing. Now WooCommerce dances every time he pulls a string. Hey, evil genius, he's got a plugin for that. Tricks and tricks from his marketing.
Okay. Hey guys, it's Spence. I'm doing my daily live update now. I'm pretty excited. Today we've got some at least two things to show you that are in the bag of tricks. I had a good 4 or 5 hours this morning. And by the way, forgive me, but I'm just not doing this week. I'm really hardcore. I noticed that YouTube just sent out with my WP Launch by default banner. I have two things. I want to show you the new MinuteLaunch symbol gallery. I want to also show off the new WooCommerce launcher, which is hopefully going to be done soon. And then I also want to show you maybe one or two other quick things, but just those. Sandra, one of my clients, had asked me if I could develop a really simple way for her and her community to share images. And what occurred to me is that there's right now some ways of doing things that are not so simple. You can use the tools with Cadence. You can use like a gallery that has dynamic images or that pulls stuff up. You can hand select stuff. But where it really gets hard is like getting people to be registered and logged in and see stuff they're supposed to see, not see stuff they're not supposed to see. It's just like lots of rough edges. And if you're using WordPress, that's where people cut themselves. And so one of the things with the simple gallery is I wanted to make it super simple for somebody to have an instant satisfaction, even on a MinuteLaunch AI, because we've already got the media library, the Media Hub P2P. We've got all these other cool features. So number one, let me show you on the screen here. Sandra signed up. And first of all, on the back end, I showed this yesterday, but the actual MinuteLaunch Update Manager, super, super easy. It just essentially allows everybody to get access to whatever components that are available as part of the club and manage them, instantly update them. In this particular case, you can see one of maybe 25 components that we built that are all included that are really easy. Notice we got the Media Hub P2P. We can install that as quick as that. We have added to the Media Hub P2P the noun project and the image importer, which means that it's super cool now. If you go, for example, into the Media Hub, you can either import icons or you can import images, which is really useful as a starting point for some of the other things like the image editor, where you can modify them with AI. So she got started. It was very easy to get her going. And then she said she wanted to do a gallery. What you kind of already understand is that the media gallery itself with Filebird is really super easy, but the media gallery or the media library might have stuff in it that you don't necessarily want to show to everybody, right? It might be administrative and otherwise. So she wanted something that on the front end could be super easy for anybody to use and be segregated to just those items. So here's what I came up with. The the MinuteLaunch Simple Gallery. It has some very basic settings. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit. First of all, you can have the default layout be 1 column, 2 column, 3 columns, 4. It by default allows people to also look at masonry or grid. You can allow a certain number of uploads per session so somebody doesn't go hog wild. You can limit it to the permissions of the default kind of editorial. So for example, authors, editors, administrators, those are the people that normally can use the media library anyway. So this is kind of useful. You can also give the capacity to other people like contributors and subscribers. But we don't mess around with roles. We're just using the normal permissions in a way that's more creative. We also have the ability to have a custom endpoint that already starts out. So right out of the box, you don't have to do anything. You could just go to ML Simple Gallery and it works. But you can change that slug or you can use a short code on a certain page. You can display or hide certain metadata. You can include other media library items if you did want to do that. And you can also auto approve people. For example, this is how we handled this like pseudo membership. She didn't necessarily want to take money for this, but she wanted to be able to say, look, if you're in the public, you can or cannot see this. If you're logged in, you can or cannot see this. Let's go and I'll show you in the front end how it works. So ML simple gallery. I have no real images in here yet other than me, but first of all, simple controls. And I want to show you, for example, without any work at all and very low key styling, you can filter out by user, which images show up. You can also do by date or by order. You've got grid view, masonry view, which doesn't show because there's no images. And then you can do 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns. Let's do some uploads so we can show. We've got the bulk editor capability of WordPress, but this is brought to the front end. So now what I'm going to do is I'll take a bunch of images from my friend Harry with the bees, 6 of them. I'm just going to upload it. It's this easy for your users, which is really the point. These folks don't need to figure out how to be a WordPress expert. And now I've got all these images that are available in the gallery, and I can go back to what I was talking about. Grid view, 4 columns. Super duper easy. Notice the metadata shows, but if I wanted, I can hide the metadata just by going on the back end and turning that off. Notice we got a nice modal, this is a lightbox feature. So you can very easily enjoy the images that you choose. So for example, if I chose like a certain person's contribution or another person's contribution, I can see just their images and I can scroll through them the way you want. You can use your imagination what you could use this for. Hello, we're all adults here. So having the capacity to segregate, display, share, sell, organize, blah, blah, blah. You can kind of see where this is going. And I like this because this reminds me deja vu of what we did about 20 years ago in Ning, and it was very popular. Notice that somebody can also edit an image if it is their image. So for example, I just uploaded this image. I can adjust very easily without going to the administrator side, whatever I want it to be, the URL, the Filebird category. I can even go and edit the image itself. Notice in this case, it will take me to the administrative side and I'm an admin. But if I was just an author or a contributor, I would not see all this extra menu stuff, which is important because you don't want to necessarily give back-end access to everybody. You just want them to use it on the front end. So really super easy to use. I've built in some instructions so that it's as easy for your users as anything. I'll have this updated maybe with some other images and stuff. But the point is, ta-da, a gallery ensues. And then if you wanted to edit what's above and below, you can use the shortcode method. So let's go ahead and do that. That's if you wanted to show, for example, like on a particular page, having the header and the footer. So if we go over here, and I may work on this a little because I noticed, for example, I don't know why the taxonomy for categories isn't showing there, but if I do the shortcode ML simple gallery, I think that's all it takes. I'll be able to show it on a page. I won't bother with it, but you can show it with or without the header, with or without the other stuff, because it'll embed into anything. So this is just one example of something that's super simple. And because this is part of the MinuteLaunch core componentry, let's put it like that, in the iPhone 1, it's really useful because whether for yourself or for, let's say, one of your clients, this is a functionality that has a million different purposes. And again, combines really nicely with the other stuff you can do if you chose to use the interface. Like, I don't think Sandra is using the interface, but let's see if she set that up. I don't think so, because she just literally purchased this morning. I didn't set it up yet. This is you can get a hint of where her site is going. She's in the gynecological realm. If we went and set up the interface with the plugin, we could have that experience where there could be like the gallery and there could be the blog and there could be whatever. And that's the kind of stuff that's really useful when we have these core components, because like an iPhone, you can have somebody who can just invent any kind of use case they want for it, or even get their own copy of it, right? Run it on their own mobile device. Let me show you the other thing that I developed today, which I'm pretty excited about. This is part of the larger picture, which is how can I make things easier for my systems or your systems to work? And one of them is called the Woo Launcher. All of the components that you need to put together for launching a WooCommerce site are typically very standard. And if you have a business like I do, and you have literally wanting to run dozens or hundreds or hopefully thousands of sites for clients and customers, it's nice to be able to input the data and get the site set up. So what I've done is created this automated process where I can use either manual entry for all the components. Think Mad Libs, kids, like when I was in school, Mad Libs, I think they may still exist. Mad Libs were these funny stories. I have to open the image in a new tab for you kids. You would be in English class and it'd be like, once upon a time, give me the name of a groom, give me the name of a bride, give me the name of your, you'd fill in the words like noun, verb, adjective, and then you'd read the story and it would be really funny. And that's kind of how this works. You fill in the data manually, or even better, you take something like an email or a LinkedIn profile or whatever the client gives you. We have a lot of different sources for the data collection, and you load it up. Like here, if I paste it in an email, which it gives you a sample, you can extract the data that you need for that business owner. Things like their business name, their address, their logo, their whatever. So here it is extracted, Dr. Sarah Martinez, chiropractor, website goals, yada, yada, yada. You can even use voice input if you prefer, and then you can save it. Now that's step one. Step two is a checklist, which will have more items on it, depending on which template, of the other things we need to finish setting this site up, right? Business name, email, that's done. Store tagline, shipping zones, weight. This is all the garbage that you need to just set up the basics, right? If you are stuck, you have the access to AI research at any step of the way, right? Even including like the Stripe publishable key and the Stripe secret key. What do I mean by that? Well, I showed you in yesterday's demonstration that if you're using Fernando or Claudio or one of your own LLM agents, they have access to all the stuff that you need to fill these fields out in your emails or by using your desktop. And they can just go ahead and take care of that stuff, right? Like even for a store tagline, right? If I want to research this, I can go ahead and click and the AI can go ahead and figure out based upon the stuff that I'm doing what it is that should go in there, or I could specify it with voice input. Okay. I can use this populate smart defaults, which should also be helpful if I'm doing 1,000 of the same sites. All right. I can save my progress. And then next step is to launch the site, which is it's got a checklist. Do I have all the stuff that I need for the fields? Do I have everything configured? You can manual, yes, yes, yes. And then if I want, I can double check it or preview the configuration, right? It's going to tell me that I have some things to do, or I can preview it and then finally launch. And this still needs a couple things in it because I just started it today. But what's super cool, in my opinion, is this is going to make it possible for me or my agentic tool to just launch a site using our API with Rocket, fill out the components with information from the particular customer that paid for it through the very same order, right? They're already ordering from me in WooCommerce. And in doing so, I don't have to do any of the shenanigans. And this will also include things like, for example, I've shown you before, when I did this business here, which is a charity of mine, Nate Wasserman, this is the Camp Fund, right? This is, among other things, one of the charities that I work with. The campfire outing, a huge success. I got a great letter. In fact, I should ask Fernando about it. I got a great letter about what a great success it was because they were finally able to sell just a buttload of stuff, including sponsorships, including raffle tickets and everything. And I did not do a single one of these 30 or so products by hand, nor did I do the page layout by hand. I just did it with the help of AI. And I think that's where this is all going, is that one of the services that I'm offering for practitioners or otherwise is essentially a hands-off solution. And this is something that I'm offering direct, but you can offer as well to your clients. This is if somebody is in the nutrition business and they want to sell supplements as well as their services, it's just a ready-to-go service. It's a flat fee of $5,000 once to set up and then $1,250 a month. But that includes everything. White label supplements through, I'm not in that business, through a partner that does this in Florida. It has the WooCommerce setup. It does all the marketing, the email, everything. So for less than the cost of hiring one, I don't know, like website person, they essentially get everything they need to make a profitable business that has a combination of their advice and services, as well as the additional sale of supplements. There is also the added benefit here that they can have the other AI components. So for example, some of the things that we've got in MinuteLaunch are things that their customers or clients can do to track how they're feeling, what they took, what their well-being is on that day. And those are things that make it more of a human experience, in my opinion. All right. I want to tell you that I had a good experience today working with one of my other clients, Fred. And one of the things that we did, which was fascinating, was, you may not know about this, but part of the componentry that you've got available with something like a Claude is it's now got the ability in beta, but soon, to work directly in a tab. So for example, you can use a Chrome extension like this, and let's not go on Claude. We can just go on Google. Hello, Google. And you can just work with it like this, and it has a set of capabilities that's somewhere between the two worlds of the agentic tool on your desktop and the regular browser version. For example, check my calendar and see whether or not I've scheduled my office hours for Friday. Now, it will go out and check my Google Calendar. It probably, because I'm in the wrong account, would go out and get the wrong one. So make sure that you're logged into the right account when you ask it a question like that, which is fine. Okay, let's see what it does. And this is kind of cool because this is going to get me closer to getting you what you need faster, by the way. So here, notice it's got this safety check in there. I can allow this or decline. I can always allow this, which I'm going to say okay to. It's going to give me a little warning, but like, I don't care because it's just checking my calendar. So it's smart enough to know in this account to go navigate to my Google Calendar, and it's going to check out what it sees. It's using some kind of a combination of, I think, vision and reading the screen. Don't really care. The point is, this is like the lazy person's version of what the desktop tool can do. Notice I have nothing scheduled on Friday, right? Okay. So it says, I can see it. It seems there's an issue, but it's weird. It just switched on me. It actually did it right the first time. And this is an example of, I think, let me just shut them down for a second. This is an example of something that I think is the future, where we're all going to have agentic tools everywhere, whether it's in your Chrome browser, in your iPhone, in your headset. I saw Meta today came out with these new glasses that are not just like cameras only, but actually are showing, what do they call it? Not AI, but augmented reality, where it's projecting stuff on the screen. You're going to just talk to your glasses. The glasses will show stuff. You're going to have a person speaking in another language. Just carry on a conversation. You're going to ask for help or advice. You're going to have dictation. All of these things are just driving towards the same result. The WordPress sites that I'm offering to you with MinuteLaunch are the containers that can hold all of the information, all of the data that we accumulate in a way that is not only private, but also beneficial for your business, because you can refer back to that kind of stuff without having to figure out where the hell is all of that, or what's the technology, or what will the cost be. So just a quick update. I'm going to try to do more official stuff like this. I'm going to do this every day. I like the fact that this is just putting it out onto YouTube. I'm not trying to make money off of this, but I did want to share that I was able to generate today, almost in under an hour or two, a really powerful app. And I think that there's a couple loose ends, but as I get better at it, I think I'll be able to crank out through the MinuteLaunch system and the promise of the voting, this automated thing that will not only make the apps, but put the instructions on the app, put them in the documentations, put them inside of the launcher, and they'll just be available to you. Like, that's the whole point of me showing you this other thing, is that imagine a situation where when I'm making something, it ends up, let me see if I got the right screen. It ends up in right here. It ends up immediately inside of, that is not the screen, inside of your update manager, right? So you immediately, without having to do anything, have availability to install any of the new applications, and it will tell you when it was updated and so on and so forth. One of the examples of that is this. Let me see if I can copy this. This is what I use for running WP Launchify's business. This is a software bundle report, and Fernando, on a daily basis, you can see he checks to make sure that all the software is up to date and synchronized and named properly. And it's really been a game changer with 124 plugins that I manage for clients. This is the kind of stuff that you'll probably be able to enjoy on your own directly, both from the plugins that I offer as well as for running your business. And what's most impressive, I think, is for the clients, because from the standpoint of the design and the marketing and everything else, yesterday I had fun. I showed you that the LLMs are capable of learning, maybe a few tricks, but learning how to speak like you, how to write like you, how to market like you. And that's different than talking to humans, which is where you should spend your time. Okay, I'm dressed like this because I'm going to play pickleball. It's 82 degrees. I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Sandra, if you're watching this video, I'm going to release this. I think you're on Europe time, so you're probably in bed right now, but thank you for joining up. And the rest of you, I hope you'll join me as well. By the way, if you're looking how to join, you can get into the club right now for a special deal. So if, for example, you were to do the retail version of the MinuteLaunch AI, that's going to cost you $30 a month or $300 a year. But I'm doing a special thing. If you join the MinuteLaunch AI annual right now, the club, I'm doing it for $250 a year. When it's actually in retail, it's going to be $300 a year because it will have an affiliate referral. So $30 a month, sorry, $5 a month or $50 a year means it's $30 a month or $300 a year, 50 of which would be yours on the referral. But right now, because we're in the early days, everybody's just coming in as a member of the club, including your clients, if you want to get them on board, fully hosted, all the tools you need for selling, sharing, buying AI, all the kind of components that I will be sharing more with you in the next video. I'll see you in the next one.